All right, welcome back to the channel again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for coming over. Appreciate all the love and support. So Coachella exposed the rich versus poor gap is insane. I've been hearing a lot about Coachella. I've personally myself never been. I just don't like being around a lot of like a big drunk crowd. You know, they say a lot of people be like drunk. Some people spend that money on that show and then they end up passing out and missing everything. You know, I don't want to be sitting up here pocket watching or telling people how to spend their money, but it's just something that I've never was interested in. You know, it for me, it really has nothing to do with the artists, because there may be some artists there that I might want to listen to, but it's more so the crowd. But we gonna check this out. Appreciate all the love. We ain't gonna waste no more time. Comment below if you ever been. Let's jump right into it.
The economic disparity surrounding Coachella is impossible to overlook. Capitalism is crazy, and the people of Coachella are acknowledging it, yet they still continue to put themselves in these dire situations that only leave them bankrupt with bad credit scores. Because yes, if you were wondering how all these people could even afford Coachella tickets, let alone housing and all the other fees in this economy, well, it's through payment plans. Payment plans that many can't even afford. Klarna and Afterpay are
Comment below. When you go, if you have been, what is your strategy? What do you do? Like as far as where do you stay at? I know my sister-in-law went, but me and my wife never been there before. I don't really have plans to go. But what do you guys do? What is the game plan?
Definitely coming in clutch for these people in the moment, but it's only a matter of time for it to really hit them in the long run. People are now calling Coachella a straight up money trap after getting hit with sky high prices for mid-food. This past weekend, as the crowd poured into the SoCal desert, critics weren't shy about dragging the festival for overpriced, barely edible concessions. One influencer said she dropped over $100 on just tacos and a lemonade on one night.
Oh,
yeah, this is what the food situation is actually.
I thought they were saying she spent the money and maybe was walking and then the food fell down. But actually, okay.
Looking like.
Okay, I'm starving, so let's come get nachos. The one thing I didn't want, no, tacos. The one thing I didn't want to do, and now I'm doing it. It's okay. So while I wait for the tacos, I got another, how much is it? $17? $17 lemonade. It's supposed to be nice, but it's so good. $120-ish worth of food, guys. I'm not gonna lie, they're not good. They're not good at all. The tortillas were like freezing cold, like freezing.
And then you have others who are attending this festival but are either starving themselves because they can't afford the food because they spent it all on tickets and housing, so they resort to alternatives like this where they're making eggs for themselves outside in the heat of Indio, California, because apparently it's just worth putting yourself in the...
I think that's smarter. If you got the whole camping set up to make your own food. Hey, yeah, that's smart.
Situations. Waiting 12 hours just to get in, sleeping in super uncomfortable positions for days on end, risking their credit scores to be able to enter the festival, waiting on long lines just to be able to shower, and much more, you guys. Believe it or not, some influencers and celebrities actually take private jets, and we all know how much those cost. And on top of that, they have much cozier, fancy-like housing as opposed to the majority middle to lower class who are squeezing themselves into their jam-packed cars to be able to sleep in the middle of the night, because some are afraid that a snake or something will crawl on top of them while they sleep on musty, hot Coachella grass.
Shit, there it is. Oh, it's moving. Shit, it's moving.
I'm out.
It's under the...
I'm out.
All over this weekend, festival goers were not having it when it came to the overpriced concessions, especially after already dropping major cash on entry and parking. Now, ticket prices vary by weekend, but general admission for weekend 1 came in at a steep $649 roughly, with weekend 2 slightly cheaper at $599. And that's before you even grab food, snacks, or find a parking spot. Day 1 was absolute chaos. If you've seen my previous video, you would know thousands found themselves stuck in what many described as literal hell as traffic heading into the desert turned into a 12-hour standstill while the sun showed zero mercy with near record heat blazing down. And this week, a clip of Tana Moja has been going absolutely viral where she candidly discussed the high costs associated with attending Coachella. In an episode of her podcast Cancelled, she mentioned that participating in the festival could cost her a minimum of $17,000. Oh yeah.
I realized I totaled up what my absolute minimum Coachella spend this year would be, and it's like $17,000.
That's
it's like
we're just gonna go out on a whim and say that's not your minimum spend. Like, I think you could definitely do it cheaper than $17,000.
I know. I guess you're like maybe 14.
But like if she wants to do it Tana style,
yeah,
like
okay, but
comfort, security.
I also, that's the thing is the bodyguard. I love my fans. I wouldn't change anything in the world, but anytime I've done any music festival without a bodyguard, I get touched in places I don't want to get touched.
I could pay all my debt with $17,000. She's not lying. I spent $3,000 camping and I was on a strict budget. Do you know what I could do with $17,000? Insane. The thing with Coachella's landscape is it's split. Literally. The city itself is a patchwork of wealth and poverty with massive stretches of farmland circling the polo grounds. Like on one side, you've got ultra wealthy neighborhoods with sprawling mansions and country clubs, nice fancy beds to sleep on, and on the other side, communities where homes look more like rundown shacks and working class families are just barely getting by.
The camping safari area, people bring their inflatable pools and fill them up, and it's really cute, and decorate their tents. The bathrooms are right there, and then these are the showers. I'm gonna show you guys the walk to our tent from the bathrooms. So ours is around that way. I'm gonna go this way because these are really cute. Look at this one. They decorated, they're so cute.
I mean, at the end of the day, if people know this is going to be the situation and you still go, yeah, I mean, you can't feel sorry for nobody, you know. Snakes, heat, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Our setup, that's our shower, that's our door. Ooh, I have SZA over here since I love SZA. That like is a kind of another door, but we don't really go through that. Trash can, grill, Logan. Table, snacks, water for our showers, ice chest.
The truth of the matter is, it's just not fun to watch people be rich anymore. We're over it. The influencer space is just oversaturated at this point. Daily Mail published an article yesterday headlined, "Shocking Way Youngsters Paid for Coachella Tickets as US Heads for Financial Reckoning," and I was genuinely intrigued by this. Let's take a look into it, shall we? Desperate Coachella fans have had to resort to payment plans to fund their increasingly exorbitant tickets. More than 60% of this weekend's revelers had used an installment plan, Billboard reports. By paying a $41 fee, festival goers were able to break up. And since the cost of travel, accommodation, and food and drink often add thousands onto the ticket price, an installment plan has become the only affordable option for the tens of thousands of young people who flock to the California desert each year. For a $49.99 initial payment, festival goers can secure their entry to the Palm Springs extravaganza, where this year the likes of Lady Gaga, Benson, and Green Day all performed. Festivals are now marketing a cheap down payment as their main call to action, a source from the festival's organizers told Billboard. The messaging is $20 down gets you in the door or $50 down gets you started. It's no longer about the artist or the festival lifestyle. The message is, you can afford this if you act today. So this has been the wealth gap being exposed all over TikTok and articles now, and I definitely want to know what you guys think about all of this, because this is just another level of insanity. I can't believe people are going to the extremes that they they are to put them in situations like this that are not going to really serve them in the long term. I mean, you could have invested those thousands of dollars into something that would have made you even more money in the future, something that would benefit you. But it seems like people are just living in the moment and they don't really care about their future like that. Now, that's not to say all people. I'm sure there's people out there that were able to afford Coachella tickets and they had a blast, a great time, but from what it looks like all over social media, the majority was not doing so great. Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments down below. I'd love to know your thoughts. I love you guys so much, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next.
Look at some of the comments here, man. This will definitely go down in history. Poor people torturing themselves year after year just to worship out of touch rich people. You know, I'm wondering how many people are going to actually see the artist and enjoy the show versus people who are going to say they went. Because the thing I don't like, man, is when stuff becomes so trendy that you kind of forget what you're there for, the main reason, you know? Because like these influencers, man, it can get a little, well, not even a little, it can get very, very cringy, you know, when you see stuff. Have you guys ever seen, like, you know how you be driving or walking somewhere and you see someone making a TikTok or something, you know, it's always so cringe because it may not be no music or nothing like that. It gets very, very odd and strange. But I'm pretty sure when I was young, it was stuff that older people were looking at saying, what the hell is this, you know? But yeah. You just can't feel bad if this is what people are choosing to do. No one's forcing them to go, right? You know? I just feel like if you go and you're fine with doing it the way you do it and you enjoy it and have a good time, hey, whatever. But knowing what the conditions can be as far as with the heat, there might be snakes, you know, the food is going to be pricey, and you go, you can't be complaining. You can't be complaining. Again, I have no desire to go, so yeah. Hey, comment below. Appreciate y'all coming over and watching, man. Peace out.